Hi guys, and welcome to Duke's Entertainment channel. In today's video we're not going to talk about movies, and I'm not going to do ASMR, even though you might find this video relaxing. No, today we are going to talk about something that I was really passionate about when I was younger. Heck, even a couple of years ago. And that, my friends, is gaming. Yes. Did you, for instance, know that my nickname Duke Doom comes from my old gamer tag, because I love Doom and I love Duke Nukem, so I put them together to form Duke Doom. Well, the more you know. Yeah. The latest console that I have is the Xbox One, and I'm going to be honest, this might actually be the last console that I buy, unless I buy an Xbox Series or whatever it's called for a cheap price, because I will never again put up a lot of money for a console unless it changes. Now, I know a lot of these problems that I'm going to address here is console only, but I'm not a PC player, or I am a PC player, but I can never afford to buy the the newest, most awesome rig. I play Baldur's Gate and stuff like that, Divinity, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm no PC player. I want it easy. I want to buy a game, put it in my console and play. And this might come to a surprise for you younglings out there. You know what this is? Yes, it's Mario, but it's also a cassette. When I started to play games, they came on cassettes, like this one. So, when you wanted to play a game, you took the cassette out of the cardboard box, you put it into your console and you pressed play. In about 2 seconds you were ready to go, and you could have a lot of fun. Cassettes. Later we had PlayStation and discs. Now it took a little bit longer to start up a PlayStation game. You had the intro screen that sounded like, and then you put in the game, it loaded, and you were good to go. For the worst cases with long load times, I think you could say that 3 minutes was the tops you had to wait to start playing a game. Now, I didn't plug in my Xbox One for a while because I changed place where the television is, so it was just standing. And the other day I started it up because I thought, hey, let's look at what's new. And so my first complaint: what the has happened to games? I was into the I rarely buy games, mostly because I can't afford it, and mostly because I want a physical copy. I'm going to get into that later. But anyway, I was browsing through Microsoft Store, the Xbox Store, and there were like 1 billion games that were, it looked like they were made for tablets or cell phones. You know, the graphics was worse than they were like when PlayStation was around. A lot of, oh, I'm artsy, so I have to do an artsy, tough as nails, pixelated 2D platformer. I played those when I was younger. I want new stuff. I don't want a lot of indie games that makes me scratch out my hair. And there's a lot of interactive movies. Remember those point and click FMV movies, games that came out in the 90s? Well, I remember them. They were not fun then, and you still have them. They kind of have made a comeback. So there's a shitload of games, point and click games with FMV. It's just, and the you know, the big quality titles are missing as far as I can see. You have like Monster Hunter World, you have what's the Souls kind of games, but they're nothing like wow, this is awesome anymore. It doesn't give me a sense of awe, you know. I remember when in Europe we were lacking in the RPG department very much. So when Final Fantasy VII finally came out on PlayStation in Sweden, there were like news stores, you know, it was in the news, all the magazines were having like headlines, Final Fantasy VII, and you were actually waiting and longing for the game until it finally released. You know, it might have been like half a year later that it released actually on disc. But yeah, so for me, I feel like gaming is stone dead. And the reasons I just told you isn't the only reasons. When I bought a game back in the days, I could take it home and I could play it from start to finish. There were rarely games that were so buggy and broken that they could not be finished. You know, there were some bugs, but nothing that were broken, really messy. Because you didn't have the chance or the opportunity to patch anything back then. So when they released the game, it had to work, or they would just go bankrupt. These days, when you buy a game, not only does it miss certain parts, which you have to buy as DLC, it also is often broken, so you cannot play it. And remember when I said that it took just a couple of seconds to start this? Last time I bought a game, I think it was might have been Final Fantasy 14 or whatever. First of all, it had to install the bloody game on the Xbox. And my Xbox One only have 500 gigabytes of memory. I remember when I was playing PlayStation or even Xbox 360, I had like 100 game saves that I can just drop into. I think I have 5 or 6 games on my Xbox One and the memory is full. Yeah, progress. Anyway, it took me about an hour to install the game from the disc. And when I was going to start it, it said this game needs 95 gigabytes extra to make it work. And we don't say anything. You know, if this was any regular product, we would go berserk. If you bought a new car and parts of the engine was missing and they said, hey, you have to come back in like 14 days so we can install this and that for your car to work, you wouldn't buy that car, would you? Same thing if you bought a ticket for a movie and they said, you have to come back to watch the rest, and that will cost you additional fees, by the way, because the movie isn't complete. It's lacking special effects and stuff. And we sit quietly and say, okay. And another thing, I bought, it was a while ago, I bought Diablo 2, the enhanced version, I think. I like Diablo. I played a lot of Diablo 3, but my internet went out and I couldn't play the damn thing. It's a single player game, yeah, it's multiplayer too, but you had to like sign in to some kind of BattleNet for it to work. So I bought a game that's mine, but I cannot play a single player game on a console because I don't have internet. Now, until some miraculous God grants all of the people on earth free, fast internet, this shouldn't exist, man. I have zero interest in playing online games or multiplayer games, and I think I'm not the only one. When I play a game, I want to like fly away into a distant fantasy land and don't have to worry about screaming 9-year-olds or stuff like that. I want to play my game by myself in peace without any internet. But that's a thing of the past, isn't it? Yes, I sound grumpy because I am a grumpy old man. I will be 51 this February. And another thing that bugs me, I know there's a lot of new gamers out there who never played these old ones. But all the remakes, people are complaining about the movie industry and how many remakes there are. But there's at least the same amount of bloody game remakes. I don't want to play games that I've already played 10 or 20 years ago with a new coat of paint on them. I want to play new games. So, this video turned out to be a very negative video, but it's not strange because I feel that somebody has to say something even though I'm not an important person. But maybe you feel the same, so you can feel like you're not the only one who hate this trend. So I think the Xbox One will sadly enough be my last gaming console. I just recently plugged in my PS2, which works perfectly fine. I also have a Nintendo 64, and a Dreamcast, and an Xbox, the original one. So I have entertainment for years to come anyway. Because I rather pop in a game that takes 5 minutes tops to start playing than I will sit for 2 hours and waste a lot of internet for a game that's not even finished. So yeah, that's my take on it. So I will name this video Gaming is Stone Cold Dead. Or maybe not, because YouTube is such a I could make a whole video about YouTube and their attitude towards swear words and other things. And the word dead might not be good enough for them to accept, it might be traumatizing for someone who, I don't know, lives, maybe, I have no clue. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you feel somewhat the same, please put your comments in the comment section down below. There can't be any light without darkness, there can't be any gaming without internet, and I will see you in the next video.